Folklore from Ohio 1. The Loveland Frogmen. The legend of the Loveland Frogmen dates back to the 1950s in Loveland, Ohio, where a businessman reportedly encountered three strange creatures along a road that runs next to the Little Miami River. The creatures were described as standing around 3 to 4 feet tall, with leathery skin, webbed hands and feet, and faces that resembled frogs. They stood on 2 legs, making them distinctly humanoid in appearance. The businessman claimed that one of the creatures held up a wand that emitted sparks, adding an even more bizarre element to the story. The story gained renewed attention in 1972 when a Loveland police officer reported a similar encounter. The officer saw what he initially thought was an injured dog lying by the side of the road. However, when he approached, the creature stood up on its hind legs, revealing its frog-like appearance before leaping over the guardrail and disappearing into the river. Another officer later claimed to have seen the creature and even shot at it, though no body was ever found. The legend of the Loveland Frogmen has persisted for decades, with sightings and reports occasionally surfacing. While some believe these creatures to be a species of cryptid living in the river, others think the stories are simply urban legends or misidentifications of other animals. 2. The Ohio Grassman. The Ohio Grassman is a regional variation of the Bigfoot legend, with reports of this creature coming from the eastern part of Ohio, particularly around the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. The Grassman is described as a large, bipedal ape-like creature standing between 7 to 9 feet tall, with broad shoulders, thick fur covering its entire body, and a distinctive odor. Unlike other Bigfoot legends, the Grassman is known to travel in small groups, suggesting a social structure rather than a solitary existence. The first reports of the Grassman date back to the 1800s, when settlers in Ohio's rural areas began to encounter this creature. They described it as being capable of incredible feats of strength, tearing apart structures and throwing large stones. Over the years, the Grassman has become part of Ohio's folklore, with many sightings reported over the years. In modern times, there have been numerous investigations into the Grassman, with people claiming to have seen it, heard its distinctive howls, or found its tracks. Despite extensive searches, no conclusive evidence has ever been found, leaving the existence of the Grassman a mystery. 3. The Moonville Tunnel. The Moonville Tunnel is one of the few remaining structures from the long-abandoned coal mining town of Moonville, Ohio. Built in the 1850s, the tunnel was part of a railway line that transported coal from the town's mines to other parts of the state. Over the years, the tunnel became infamous for the number of people who lost their lives there, often due to being struck by trains. One of the most enduring legends associated with the Moonville Tunnel is that of the ghost of a railroad brakeman. According to the story, the brakeman was killed in the late 19th century when he fell onto the tracks and was run over by a train. His ghost is said to haunt the tunnel, and many visitors have reported seeing a ghostly figure carrying a lantern, either inside the tunnel or standing on the tracks nearby. The town of Moonville itself was abandoned in the early 20th century as the coal industry declined, but the tunnel remains a popular destination for ghost hunters and curious tourists. Despite its remote location deep in the woods, the legend of the Moonville Tunnel continues to draw people eager to experience its haunted history. 4. The Gore Orphanage. The legend of Gore Orphanage near Vermilion, Ohio, is one of the state's most enduring ghost stories, despite the fact that the existence of the orphanage itself is highly questionable. According to the tale, the orphanage was the site of a horrific fire in the early 20th century that claimed the lives of all the children inside. Some versions of the story suggest that the fire was set deliberately, while others say it was an accident. In the years since, People who have visited the supposed site of the orphanage have reported experiencing strange phenomena, including hearing the screams of children, seeing ghostly apparitions, and feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness or dread. The area has also gained a reputation for being cursed, with some visitors claiming that their cars have broken down or that they've experienced other misfortunes after visiting the site. While historians have been unable to confirm the existence of Gore Orphanage, the legend has persisted for decades, with many Ohioans continuing to share the story as part of the state's rich tradition of ghost tales and folklore. 5. The Witch's Ball. In the small town of Kirtland, Ohio, there exists a curious monument known as the Witch's Ball. This oversized stone sphere is located in the local cemetery and is rumored to mark the grave of a woman who was accused of witchcraft and executed in the 19th century. According to legend, the townspeople believed that she had cursed them, and after her death, they placed the heavy stone ball over her grave to prevent her spirit from rising and seeking revenge. Over the years, the Witch's Ball has become the subject of numerous stories and superstitions. Some say that the ball has a strange, almost magnetic pull, and that anyone who touches it will feel an intense burning sensation in their hand. Others believe that the spirit of the witch is still trapped within the ball, and that disturbing it will bring bad luck or worse. Despite the lack of historical evidence supporting the story, the Witch's Ball remains a popular local legend, with visitors to the cemetery often stopping to inspect the strange monument and share stories of their own eerie experiences. 6. The Mansfield Reformatory. The Ohio State Reformatory. In Mansfield, Ohio, is a massive, imposing structure with a long and grim history. Built in 1886, it was originally intended as a reformatory for young offenders, but quickly became notorious for the harsh conditions and overcrowding that led to widespread suffering and death among the inmates. Over the years, the prison housed thousands of men, many of whom met untimely and often violent ends within its walls. Among the most infamous stories from the Mansfield Reformatory is that of an inmate who was beaten to death by guards in solitary confinement. His ghost is said to haunt the cell where he died, and many visitors have reported feeling an oppressive presence or hearing strange noises when near the area. Other ghostly apparitions, cold spots, and unexplained footsteps have been reported throughout the prison, making it one of the most haunted places in the country. The prison was closed in 1990, but it has since become a popular tourist attraction with guided tours and paranormal investigations available for those brave enough to explore its haunted halls. The Mansfield Reformatory has also been featured in numerous television shows and films, further cementing its reputation as a place of dark history and supernatural activity. 7. Helltown. Helltown is the colloquial name given to a section of northern Summit County, Ohio, particularly around the abandoned village of Boston. In the 1970s, the U.S. government bought out much of the land in the area with the intention of turning it into a national park. As a result, many homes and buildings were abandoned, leading to a desolate, ghost town-like atmosphere. Over the years, Helltown has become the subject of numerous legends and rumors. Some stories suggest that the area was taken over by satanic cults who conducted rituals in the abandoned buildings. Others claim that strange mutant creatures, possibly the result of chemical spills or secret government experiments, roam the woods, attacking anyone who ventures too close. There are also tales of ghostly apparitions, mysterious lights, and even a haunted school bus that still sits in the area. Despite the many stories, much of Helltown's notoriety is based on urban legend rather than documented fact. However, the eerie atmosphere of the abandoned village, combined with the proliferation of spooky tales, has made it a popular destination for those interested in the paranormal or simply seeking a thrill. 8. The Melon Heads. The legend of the Melon Heads is one of Ohio's most peculiar and unsettling folk tales. The story centers around a group of small humanoid creatures with large bulbous heads who are said to inhabit the woods around Kirtland and Chardon, Ohio. According to the legend, these creatures were once children who suffered from hydrocephalus, a condition that causes an abnormal buildup of fluid in the brain, leading to enlarged heads. The story goes that these children were the victims of cruel experiments conducted by a man known only as Dr. Crow. After years of abuse, the children escaped, killing Dr. Crow in the process. They then fled into the woods, where they have supposedly lived ever since, attacking anyone who comes too close to their territory. The Melon Heads legend has been passed down for generations, with many people claiming to have seen the creatures or heard strange noises in the woods. While there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of the Melon Heads, the story remains a staple of Ohio folklore and continues to be shared by locals and thrill-seekers alike. 9. Crybaby Bridge. Crybaby Bridge is a popular urban legend found in many states, and Ohio is no exception. The most well-known Crybaby Bridge in Ohio is located in Rogues Hollow, near Doylestown. The story associated with the bridge varies, but the most common version involves a young mother who, in a fit of despair, threw her baby off the bridge into the water below. In some versions, the mother then jumps to her own death, while in others, she simply vanishes, leaving behind only the sound of her baby's cries. According to the legend, if you visit the bridge at night and listen carefully, you can still hear the faint cries of the baby echoing through the hollow. Some people have also reported seeing a ghostly figure, believed to be the mother, wandering near the bridge, endlessly searching for her lost child. Others have claimed that their cars have stalled or that they've experienced other strange phenomena while on or near the bridge. Crybaby Bridge has become a popular destination for ghost hunters and thrill seekers in Ohio, with many people visiting the site in hopes of experiencing something supernatural. Despite the lack of historical evidence to support the story, the legend persists, making it one of Ohio's most enduring and chilling tales. 10. The Lake Hope Furnace. The Lake Hope Furnace, located in Zaleski State Forest near MacArthur, Ohio, is a remnant of Ohio's once thriving iron industry. Built in the mid-19th century, the furnace was used to smelt iron ore, which was then shipped to various parts of the country. The furnace operated for several decades before being abandoned, and it now stands as a haunting, ivy-covered ruin in the middle of the forest. The legend associated with the Lake Hope Furnace is that of a tragic accident that occurred during its operation. According to the story, a worker was accidentally pushed or fell into the furnace's fiery interior, where he was instantly incinerated. His horrific death left a lasting impression on those who witnessed it, and it's said that his spirit still lingers at the site. Visitors to the Lake Hope Furnace have reported hearing strange noises, such as the sounds of clanging metal and disembodied voices, particularly at night. Some have claimed to see a ghostly figure, believed to be the spirit of the worker, wandering near the furnace or standing silently by the ruins, as if eternally tied to the place where he met his untimely end. The eerie atmosphere of the old furnace, combined with the tragic legend, has made it a popular spot for those interested in Ohio's haunted history. These stories, rich in local history and lore, provide a glimpse into Ohio's unique cultural heritage. Each tale, whether rooted in fact or legend, contributes to the state's mystique and offers a compelling narrative for those exploring the eerie and the unexplained.